Investments Audit Committee together. All members are present except for member Trost, who is absent today. Okay, and before we get started, I just want to, on our agenda here, the decision list, I wanted to change the order of the decision list so that we start with the committee charter, and then do the statutory audit checklist, and then move into the 2 financial statements, and then approve the audit report last. If that's okay with everybody. All right, so is there any public comment on issues related to the business of the audit committee? Seeing none, I would ask for approval of the October 11th committee minutes.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second, Iverson.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. The committee minutes are approved. Executive Director comments.
Everything I'd have to say will be covered later in the agenda.
Okay. All right, then I will turn it over to Julie to go over the audit checklist for us.
So good morning. So within your packet, you'll find the audit committee checklist that we present at every audit committee. A couple things I will highlight on it is that for fiscal year 23, the Legislative Audit Division, or LAD, returned in October to continue their on-site planning, testing, and field work. Something that is not on your checklist because it was new as of last week. The Legislative Audit Division issued unmodified opinions on both of our enterprise and our Unified Investment Program statements. They issued those unmodified opinions on Wednesday, December 6th of last week. So that did not make your checklist. BOI statements will be presented to the Legislative Audit Committee either during their January or April meeting. In regards to the financial statement, a copy of the latest draft statements is in your packet and will be presented later during this committee meeting. Just as a reminder, the statements provided are not considered public information until they are released by the Legislative Audit Division. Now, we have requested from the Legislative Audit Division an early release. This is standard for us. We ask for an early release of our audited reports because we have some federal reporting regarding bonds. We do a limited disclosure for EMA purposes concerning the Facility Finance Authority. And we used to do EMA reporting for Intercap.
EMA is what?
I don't know what the initials stand for, Jack.
Yeah, it's the municipal.
Electronic municipal market data.
And then once those legislative audit reports are released, we will update our BOI webpage accordingly. John will be speaking to the financial statements a little later in this meeting. Regarding the annual report, that also will be presented to you later in this meeting, and Louise will talk about that. We also will be posting that annual report to our website before the December 31st statutory deadline. Any questions on the checklist at this point?
At least at my desk, there was one here and then one in the packet.
So the one that was on your desk is we had securities litigation is addressed in October. It was securities litigation addressed in December. We addressed securities lending in October. So that was the only change between the docs on your desk and the docs in the packet.
Good.
So within your packet, you will also find a memo from Dan. This is dealing with our compliance with the audit charter. We ask the audit committee to annually review the audit charter. And a couple points on this memo that I will just address is we talk about the statutory requirement concerning our annual report. We say that our financial statements are accurate and not misleading. Management's risk assessment and adherence to internal controls are in place, and they have not revealed a material weakness in internal controls, nor have we found any fraud or illegal activity, and the potential for such acts are limited through our internal controls here at the board. A copy of the audit charter is also within your packet. And you'll notice on the checklist that I go through at each audit committee, items within the checklist that I go through are actually within your charter. Any questions?
Any questions from members of the committee? Okay, just a quick question. Have you, okay, it was interesting that LAD sent out the management rep letter to us that you guys signed. It was your rep letter, I don't know why. But anyway, it was interesting that they sent it out. But do you have a copy, or have you received what the language from the audit opinion?
No.
Okay.
We should be getting that final draft from the legislative audit. Either, I was expecting it yesterday or today.
There are, I guess, there are no findings or recommendations to bring to the
So
board.
it is a clean audit,
Yes.
Correct.
a clean opinion.
Unmodified opinion, yes, a
And
clean
you can
opinion.
certify that to the committee members, right? Okay, all right, okay. Okay, thank you, Julie. Any other questions? Okay. Then, the next item.
And Mark, we do need a decision on as to the acceptance or review of the charter.
Right,
Okay.
just getting that. So in our board packet is the committee charter, and our policies say that we are to reaffirm that annually. And so I would ask if there's any changes to the charter, and if there is none, and I don't see any, I'd ask for a motion to reaffirm our charter.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we had a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's been approved. The next,
Does that have to go to the full board? or-
yes, we'll take it out to the full board. The next item is the annual statutory compliance checklist that is also in our packet. And Julie, you're gonna go over that and explain that for us?
Yeah, this statutory compliance checklist is, we take this opportunity on an annual basis to go through the statutes that have a particular import to us at the Board of Investments, where it says you must do this, you must do that, you shall do that. So we go through and we take that opportunity to look to make sure that we're doing our proper reporting between our annual report disclosure and our financial statements disclosure. So within the statutory compliance checklist, you will notice that I will have notations. AR is annual report. The UIP FS is the Unified Investment Program financial statements. And then we also have the enterprise financial statements for compliance on other issues. You will notice on that checklist that all items have been marked as complete, except for 3 items. And those items are dealing with the annual report, which again will be posted prior to the statute requirement of December the 31st. The second is that our annual report will also be provided to the governor and to the legislator. And the third item that has not been marked complete on the statutory compliance checklist is that dealing with the audit reports, once those are available, the link on our website will also be updated.
Okay, so those are only open because we haven't approved the annual report, and it's, won't be done until, it will meet the compliance by December 31st.
Correct. And then we have not had the audit reports released to us at this point, so we can't update our links until that's been released to us.
And are these the same laws that the legislative audit division would be auditing as well? And another question related to that, this go around with the financial reports, the audit of the financial reports, did they include the compliance in that, or?
We did not get a list of statutes that they were looking at specifically for compliance purposes. That's not to say that they may not have considered statutes.
Okay. All right. But I think this is this is related to the audit checklist that you go over as well, so it's another control that we have from our staff, so. And you're asking for approval of this, correct?
Correct.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
You guys are models of efficiency.
We got a lot to do today.
Okay, the next would be to go over the financial statements so we can approve those. We got a new face showing up.
I don't know about new, but different office from
Welcome.
perhaps from last year. So good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. John Carpenter, Accounting Bureau Manager, here to present our financial statements for fiscal year 23. Julie covered the basics of it, so a clean audit opinion on both the UIP and enterprise statements, which was issued December 6th. As she touched on, these are still not for public disclosure until the Legislative Audit Committee gives it their blessing. I'd like to start off first of all by thanking my staff. It's their hard work, diligence, and attention to detail that make these clean audit opinions possible. So it's not just when the auditors are here that they do a great job. It's throughout the year so that they can come in and get out as efficiently as possible. Also like to thank Julie. She coordinates all of the audit requests, the communications, literally hundreds, if not thousands of pages of documents that they go through as part of the audit, and Julie handles all of that. So thank you to her for that. We'll start with the UIP financial statement. For fiscal year 23, there were no significant changes. Ending net position was 27.1 billion, which represents an increase in fiduciary net position of 1.7 billion compared to 0.5 billion increase in the prior year. I don't want to go through all the details, but if there are any specific questions on the UIP.
Does anyone have any questions on the?
Is that in our book here?
Those were
They were sent out.
those are separately mailed to us?
Yeah, I didn't grab them. Okay, no problem. I went through them.
All right.
You want mine?
No, I remember seeing them.
I have one question, John.
Sure.
The enterprise statements, they include a statement of cash flows, but we don't include one in the UIP. What's the reason for that?
Julie, you want to tackle that one?
So the enterprise fund is considered a proprietary fund for governmental financial reporting purposes. Proprietary funds are required pursuant to the Governmental Accounting Standards Boards to include a statement of cash flows.
Okay.
Whereas our Unified Investment Program statements are completed on a fiduciary basis, and fiduciary statements are not required to have that statement of cash flows.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I knew the answer, but Julie is much more eloquent, Gatsby language than I am, so.
Any other
I
questions?
mean, basically, what you got is that's the same thing as a gap statement for a regular business.
Yep.
The enterprise is,
Yep.
yeah, that's what the difference is. The governmental accounting rules are completely different.
Yeah, they're completely wacko.
And they all make,
Just my
yeah.
opinion.
I
Well,
was gonna say they make total sense, but okay.
they're very difficult to read, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You want that term in our
No.
appendix?
Wacko? All right.
I think what we'll do is we'll take these one at a time. So I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve the Unified Investment Program financial statements.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Unified Investment Program financial statements for the year ending June 30th, 2023. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's been approved. Moving
Okay.
on.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll move on to the enterprise financial statements. Again, some changes primarily related to the footnotes around Intercap 2.0 disclosures. Just wanted to clarify some of the details of that program.
John,
Yes.
just a question, and maybe Julia will have to answer this, but did they have a lot of questions on the Intercap 2.0 and how it works and all that sort of thing? Were there any major concerns from the auditors?
I think it was more, and Julie can confirm this, but it was more of just their understanding that it's not a perpetual bond that we automatically renew every year, that we evaluate it separately annually as to whether Louise's program needs it and whether the STIP considers that a good investment. So it's not a automatic renewal. It's a, truly a unique investment every year, which is why we hold it as part of our STIP, because it is a short term.
It's a short term?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the main question, is just getting their understanding of how that works, so.
And I think, Mark, that was also to be expected.
Yeah.
Because last year it was long-term
Right.
in the financial statements.
And
This year it's back to short-term.
Okay.
So it was expected that we were gonna have that discussion.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
No, that was a good question, and that was really the main question that they had. Because as auditors, they like to compare last year to this year, and any changes is kind of what flags it. So that's where that discussion went, but I think we handled those questions and they were comfortable with our accounting of it, so. Ending net position of 5.4 million, which is an increase of 210,000 compared to an increase of 293,000 in the prior year. I would note that it's not a performance thing, it's a pension cost. So that cost swung 95,000, which is kind of, so it was a credit in the prior year and expense this year. So that's why it looks like performance was down, but really it's a factor of pension accounting, which we all love, which is actually half of the enterprise financial statements. So
We all love it.
we all enjoy
Okay, I
pension
won't say
accounting.
anything about that.
Yeah. Any other questions specific
That's
to the enterprise?
basically the thing that causes confusion in all government statements is that pension accounting. And that's why you get the questions you do before you get to the pension reports.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, with that I just ask for approval of the enterprise fund statements.
Okay, any questions of John on the enterprise fund financial statement?
So move to approve it.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it. I'm
Thanks,
gonna give Porter a chance, okay?
It's been moved and seconded to approve the enterprise fund financial statements for the year ended June 30th, 2023. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, they've been approved. Thank you, John.
Thank you, committee.
Okay, now we're moving on to the annual report. Louise is going to speak to us about the annual report. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have a long way to go and a short time to get there. So let's get through this annual report. I'm not going to go through page by page because staff and of course, thank you to the board members who did provide comments and some edits for us to improve that a little bit. And so we've made some minor narrative adjustments to the existing language, so we will just go right into the major changes. Quickly, the aerial photo that you see on the front, we had some guesses, and yes, you guessed right. It is Georgetown Lake. I was flying over Phillipsburg, looked down and said, that is my cover page right there. So took the picture, got my wing strut out of the picture, and there
Who was
we
flying the plane? Were you?
You both. If you set your trim right, you're doing good. All right, so let's get going. Page 8, we had a major change there with the coal severance tax trust fund. The legislative reallocation of the coal severance tax revenue beginning in fiscal year 2024. There's going to be a percentage of that going to the conservation district fund. After reaching 100 million, it will revert to a newly created whole board fund. So that was one of the changes. We had a couple of bills that went through legislation that affected our annual report. We had the House Bill 819. That affected page 10. That increased the multifamily co-trust homes loan program amount of loans outstanding from 15 million to 65 million. Page 25, this is where we put in that new section for the Montana Housing Assistance Program. So there's quite a bit of information and it's on a single page. So we also have House Bill 251. Its impact on the annual report is in page 17. That is where the Treasurer's Fund earnings is to be deposited into the newly created debt and liability-free account with the state special fund instead of it going into the general fund. So as Julie said, this will be uploaded on or before December 31st, along with new updated account descriptions, and also we have our investment holdings as of June 30, 2023 uploaded as well. I'm open for any questions.
Any questions for Louise?
I'd like to tell her thank you for giving us page numbers when you're going through this. It helps immensely just for us to be able to look at what you're talking about.
You're welcome.
If there are no
It
questions,
looks like there's a lot of live links, is that right on here? It'll take us out to other areas.
And I would also like to add too, that we do accessibility with our annual report. So if when you see it online, if you're curious about any of the pictures or anything like that, just hold your mouse over it and it will give you a little description as to where it is, what it is, that sort of thing. So we also make sure that it's readable with the accessibility.
I would move for approval
May would move for.
of the annual report for 2023.
We have a second from Dwayne. Any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed, okay, it's been moved and approved. And with that, that's my complete list of decisions. We'll take these and ask for approval from the full board for these same decisions.
Good.
Okay. And with that, we'll close the audit committee meeting.